The Blood Angels are known for many things. First, their noble sacrifice. Second, the tragic curse, aka the Black Rage. And third, their overwhelming love to hitting things with chainswords. So today, we're putting that reputation to the ultimate test. Can the Blood Angels survive using only melee units? In order to do that, we will try to survive the demonic incursion at the highest difficulty. For that, we assembled an army of approximately 2500 points. No Baal Predators, no Dreadnoughts, and no Hellblasters. Only the good old chainsword and some muscle against the demons. We assembled 3 Sanguinary Guards, 3 Terminator units, 3 priests, and filled up the rest with the good old assault squad. As far as strategy goes, I didn't really have one, to be honest. The priests were supposed to heal, and we tried to have the HQ units to be in the center, to be as close as possible to all the units. The rest of them just hit as hard as you can. And so we went into the first wave. Right from the start, we got bombarded. Usually, that should not be a big deal, but at the hardest level, it already started with a disadvantage. Nevertheless, we started off by giving away straight as many buffs as we can, naturally, only melee, of course. And with the first turns, we also were using our jetpacks to get as close as possible to our enemies and take out as many ranged weapons as possible. But we didn't stop there, we also tried to get their infantry, and in general, this first turn's goal was to get on the board and get some good damage in. What I unfortunately underestimated was how resilient those demons were. By the end of the first turn, we were not able to do the impact that I was hoping to do, because we were not able to get as close to the enemy as I wanted to be. This is when I realized this challenge might be harder than expected. Not only were the demons super resilient, but they also hit hard, and our biggest challenge would not to be get hit by them and come close to them. As you see, closer to the second turn, we already lost 2 assault squads, and we barely did any damage. Well, in this situation, only a masterclass tactician can save us, which I am unfortunately not. Anyhow, during the second turn, we were able to get some back. The majority of the first turn demons were gone, but at this point 12 more enemy units were waiting for us and surrounding us in the shadows. At this point, the core of the battlefield started to shift to the other side of the plateau, and here we realized once again, if you want to get close to the enemy, you need to have enough cover, which we unfortunately lacked a bit. We tried to utilize the Terminator teleportations once again, but that was merely a small drop on the hot stone. As soon as turn 3 rolled around, our troops started to crumble away, especially the assault units did not hold enough strength here. In my opinion, our response was powerful, leaving them with only around 7 units left, but these demons were able to prove me wrong once again. During their turn, they managed to get rid of more of our units, which was very devastating. However, our response, again, was appropriate. We narrowed them down to 2 units and closed off the first wave shortly after. It left us with a very decimated army and only 250 points for reinforcement. We used these points to get a priest and a death comic. Going into Wave 2, the enemy did not let us breathe for a little bit. The first range bombing was immediately scary and revealed once more one of the biggest problems in this challenge. We had to get to the enemy. So, off we went. With the help of cover, we came somewhat closer, but not close enough. At this point, the enemy already had 15 units and we just came in contact with them. It was latest at this point when I started to second guess the success of this challenge and the faith was slowly crumbling. The next turns turned out to be very painful. While the enemy forces grew, our forces shrank. It was starting to get very difficult to get 2 enemy units, and if we did, it was at the cost of our own. At this point it was a classic slaughter, but unfortunately in the wrong way. Even our reinforcements did not really provide the necessary relief that I was hoping for. I must say that from all the units, the Terminators surprised me the most. While they might not be the quickest or don't have the most range, if their positioning is right, they deal some great damage and they are resilient. Of course, it didn't help much at the end. Wave 2 at this point was unfortunately our last wave that we survived, as we see our troops slowly getting decimated. Do I think we could have played it better? Yeah, probably. Do I know how? Yeah, potentially. I have concepts of a plan. Will I try it again? Maybe later, after I did some other challenges. That being said, I hope you enjoyed watching challenges like that, and I promise you I will do better in further ones. But until then, I hope that you guys leave a like, subscribe, and see you until next time. Thank you, and goodbye.